So my next question is, how do you reactivate it? First, to let you know, is that for the last 5 years, I've been haunted by this. I have flown over 1 million miles all across the world, all across the US, and everyone else to try to find the best practices that really do activate empathy. The book's called Unselfie. How do you raise one? It's coming out in May because I had my enough moment. And I discovered things along the way. Number one, this is extremely doable. Every one of you turn around and go, we can do this. Number two, it doesn't cost a dime. Best practices are not programs, but they're really rich kind of activities that we can do with our kids. Number three, we need to make this into a habit. So it's not a now we did empathy on March 2nd, and that's the rest of it. We need to keep doing it and keep evolving our children in real, meaningful kinds of experiences. And we need to teach it as a verb and not a noun. So with those in mind, let me show you what I discovered. Because children actually were the ones in every state, in every country, who pulled me aside and let me know, these are the things that get us the best. These are the things that activate our hearts. What I discovered is there are actually 9 habits. 9 habits of really empathic kids. Our goal is to start from the emotional literacy Daniel Goleman piece and keep on working our way up, because empathy alone can be limiting. We got to make sure that empathy is activated so our children don't just feel it, but want to do it for someone else, to comfort, to support, to help. And there's our end product. And so let's start and let's look at it, because seed number 1 is emotional literacy. They got to tune in, folks. Empathy is always a we scenario. It's never a me scenario. And the biggest issues we've got is a generation of kids who are so plugged in that they would rather text than talk. Eyeball talking is down. Now think about it. Because how can you possibly go, oh, she looks really upset. I've got to do something about it. I'm going to step in to help, if they aren't able to read the emotion. Emotional literacy starts at birth, when babies are able to just bond with us and connect with us on just that level. And then it continues to evolve. We've got some other problems. We do a better job with our girls than our boys. Even in preschool age, our girls are far ahead in emotional vocabulary than our sons, because moms and dads are talking more to their girls about how do you feel and less to their sons. So let's look at what's the best ways to do it? I learned the best way. The first one for emotional literacy, and it wasn't a worksheet, it was real life scenarios. It was in Fort McMurray, way up in northern Canada, and the superintendent there told me, you got to come and look at the 3rd grade classroom. You just got to go see what that teacher is doing to help their kids learn emotional literacy. You'd be surprised. So I decided, okay, I'm going to drop in. And I walked into the classroom, and the children were sitting around a big green rug, and they were waiting. I've never seen such waiting and waiting in anticipation. I came in, and I quietly sat down, and 2 little guys on both sides said, shh, don't say anything. I said, boy, I'm not going to say a thing. What's going on? He goes, our baby is coming. Now, the first thing I knew something was glorious was coming on was the pronoun use of our baby. And then I looked at him going, you're a little young to have a baby here, but you're really taking on the parental role. Pretty soon what did happen is the baby arrived, and the joy of the children was unbelievable. Each month that baby comes. It's always one baby whose mother has during the year in the school, and the class adopts the baby. It's called Mary Gordon's Extraordinary Roots of Empathy program. I've been watching this for 30 years, and this is absolutely mind-boggling. They don't use a worksheet, they use the baby. The baby gets in the middle of the rug, and what everybody does is look. The trainer says, how does the baby feel? How do you think he's doing? And pretty soon what you saw is the 2 little guys sitting next to me going, don't say anything. I said, what's going on? He's getting really stressed. I said, how do you know? Look at his hands. I went, oh my gosh, what do? We should sing. What should we sing? Sing a lullaby. It'll make him soothe. I'm going, oh my God, this is absolutely brilliant. They were able to Anticipate the baby's response. And then each month as the baby returned, they were excited that the baby was coming back, and they would be able to come back with, oh, look how much happier he is. Oh, look at his smile. Oh my gosh, he's not quite as stressed. I bet the mom's doing more relaxing things with this child. Absolutely profound. Now here's the thing, Mary Gordon has done this now for 600,000 kids around the world are being exposed to it. Bullying goes down, aggression goes down, kindness and compassion go up because the kids are able to read the emotions off someone else. I was in Washington, D.C. and saw another program, Roots of Empathy. The same thing. I talked to one little boy, it's Daryl. Daryl had a really tough time. He lives in a place out in Washington, D.C. When he goes home, he's not allowed out of the house because it's in a lockdown mode of that neighborhood. Very violent area. Daryl said, first time he got to that school, things were kind of bumpy. I had a tough time. He said, so what went on? He said, well, what went on is that things changed. I went, what changed? He goes, I don't know. They brought this baby, and all of a sudden, everybody started to be more human with each other. First thing is, our children need more exposure to emotions, particularly our older kids. You can do that all ways, shape, and form, folks. It doesn't have to be a baby coming in. But the interesting thing about this that I learned lesson 1 from the kids is that the real moment happens. It's not the worksheet that works. It's the reality. Maybe it's stopping a video periodically and going, how does she look? Maybe it's turning as you're doing your paired sharing. How does your neighbor seem like they're feeling? Unless our kids start tuning in, the first seeds of empathy will go down because they don't have that opportunity. And we also need to teach our children the skills of how to connect and relate